Hello and welcome back to another review with me, Kevin, from Kevin Grant on Whiskey. This week we've got a space side, we've got the big hitting Mortlach, which is probably one of the most famous up in Dufftown. I think one of the original in that small space. I think there's 6 distilleries in a very close proximity, but this is kind of the king of that area. Mortlach's been around forever, it is Diageo owned, it is part of their Flora and Fauna series as well. But this is a 16-year-old. This is a Distiller's Dram 2.81 distilled. This is actually my partner's dad's, but we had an issue trying to get it back to Canada because the big issue was the cork. And I don't know if anyone else has had this issue, but for me, it just comes straight out. There's no safetyness like to it. That's me pop straight back on, and without any pressure, I can take it off. So if that was upside down, it's going to pour out. So we're trying to get through a wee bit whilst he was here, and he's left it. So I thought I'll get it reviewed. So 2.81, I seen that number on there and I thought, what does that mean? 16-year-old 2.81 from Mortlach. So when I looked at it, it's a distillation process. They do it 2.81 times is the kind of precise way of doing it. They've got kind of 3 different kind of stills that work not together, but they do in this crazy roundabout way that they give Mortlach this really, really different Speyside character. Speyside is light, it's easy going, it's very soft, it's a delicate liquid. Triple distilled, you would usually think the same, but this 2.81 distilled being such a crazy number for it gives us a completely different character. This is heavy, this is chewy, this has got different characteristics from a typical Speyside, and I think that's what people love about Mortlach because it has that huge, hefty, big hitting character. So it's 16 years old, it's 43.4% ABV. It's a bit obscure number. Unfortunately, I cannot see non-chill filtered natural colour. So for me, it's going to be filtered and coloured. I think it's aged completely in sherry casks for its full life. Some of that colour is definitely going to be there, but I think they maybe add colouring just to keep it consistent right throughout the range and every year that they bring this out. Because of how big a brand Diageo is, they want to keep everything the same. So people that are rebuying are buying it for consistency. But for whiskey aficionados, I think they wouldn't really matter as long as it's got the non-chill filtered natural colour on there. So let's get this on the nose and have another wee chat about it. So colour wise, it's really nice. It's kind of dark, amber. I would say, I would probably guess sherry before even seeing the front of it and what it was. But I'm going to say nice sherry notes, and let's see what we get. So nose first. There's a kind of sweet flowery note to it. So definitely get the soft sherry notes coming through. It's a kind of sugary, kind of like, see, you had like Rice Krispies and you put sugar on top of it, like a brown sugar on top. It's got that kind of cereal note to it, but also got that sweetness. It's all flower notes, like fresh flowers, and then typical sherry notes, berries, darker fruits. It smells wonderful. 43%, 43.4%. It does smell on the lighter side of the alcohol hit for sure. Well, let's try it on the palate. Slant your on. The texture's great. It is thicker. It has got a long mouthfeel. It is chewy. It's not typical Speyside light, easy going down, a couple of flavours. It's robust. Heavy. That kind of brown sugar as if it's been mixed up and got thick on the palate. kind of cured bacon, maple bacon, you know, along that side, that kind of meaty texture to it. Yeah, Canadian bacon, then I would go with. It's been sprinkled with brown sugar. It's got a kind of meaty complexity to it. It stays sweet. There's a lot going on. It's really chewy. It's weird when you see Mortlach and it's pre-emptied into your mind that it's a chewy dram. You might sense that. But if you have this side by side by a typical Speyside Glenfiddich, something close by, they're going to taste really different, but from the same region. And I don't know what region I would place this in if I was to drink it blind. So coming in still with that kind of cornflakes, brown sugar, berries, oily. That's probably another texture. It's oily, light, still soft flour notes coming through. So the water's not done much, and I didn't think it would for that kind of level of ABV, just because it is so low. But let's see if it does anything on the palate again. It's weirdly thick. Sensational mouthfeel. And I love a whiskey which is quite long in the palate, which is quite chewy, robust. And this stays there with that kind of maple cured bacon, but the berries still slightly stay there. Oily, chewy, robust, thick. Bacon, brown sugar on bacon, flowers. There's loads going on, and I think maybe that's partly to do with the age as well. Distiller's Dram. If it's called a Distiller's Dram and you're thinking something's good about this, you know, 2.81 times distilled. It's not 3, it's not 2, it's just over there. But a really crazy way that they've done it. I think it was Mr. Cowie, who was one of the founders that had invented this, working alongside is it Doug Doig, the man that invented the pagoda roof. They were involved in this as well. Completely forgot their names. But I really like this. I think this is the first day I've sat down and actually explored it. I've had a rough week. The bathrooms needing to be changed. I've had to tear that apart today and try and redo that. So that's why I'm in normal clothes. I cut my finger doing it as well. This is a cupcake plaster or band-aid. There's the only thing kicking about the house. So I've got a sore finger. So a Mortlach 16 to help cure that. But I really enjoyed that. My only concern is the travel friendliness of it isn't there at all, because that just completely comes off. And I wonder how much that would change, because it's so easy to come off. If I, for instance, left that up a wee bit, would that change over time in a bad way, because air's going to get in there and cause that to maybe go flat? I know flat's probably not the word, but I think it would maybe change. It's one I really like to keep an eye on, just to make sure it's not, there's still half left, you know, but I wouldn't want to take or maybe just less than half. I wouldn't want to take my finger off that in case it all drops out and we lose it all together. But a cracking dram. I've really enjoyed that. It's a type of dram that I would reach for, just for mouthfeel alone. I think that longevity to it is wonderful, wonderful stuff. a Speyside that doesn't taste like a Speyside, eh? Who would have thought? Well, if you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you've not done so already for weekly content. I'm hoping to potentially go live next week. I'll keep everyone updated on that. But I'm going to go and sit back, enjoy this, and try and figure out how to fix my bathroom some more. So maybe not doing it after a few drams, but sometimes we get some good ideas, don't we? Brave, we'll call it brave ideas, but we'll see how we get on. I'm going to go and sit back, finish this, and we'll move on from there. But as always, I've been Kevin from Kevin Grant on Whiskey. Join me next week. Let's talk whiskey. Slange.